Hey everybody, it's Mike Young. Welcome back to the book, Live to 150, the V book, video book, chapter 44. This one's called Having Fun. All right, so I wanted to do something upbeat. Let me put my phone down over there. I'm a lifestyle nutritionist with aPlantBasedDiet.org. I'd say most of the beginning chapters of this book have been like more of a dreary observation of society and kind of working you into recognizing how ingrained this is in the psychology of people and in the sociology of people. Really, it's everywhere. So you got to remove yourself from that, remove your brain from thinking in those ways and think differently. And then the last couple chapters have been about specifically the food, so you know that part. But now I want to get into like, why are we even doing this? I mean, why even put this effort forward? I mean, we know we're going to get some more years, and you've heard me say in earlier chapters, if you focus on the quality, you will get the quantity. It's not like you're going to get 75 years of misery tacked on to the end of your life, okay? That is not the goal. The goal is for the quality, and when you focus on the quality, you will get that quantity. And now what's the underlying purpose of all this? It's to have fun, I'd say, because, you know, if you've watched people get older, and who hasn't, they usually just start to take a decline in their health at some point in time, a decline, like a downward spiral that they never recover from. So a lot of times people will retire. I don't even know if I actually even want a regular retirement, because I think that the whole idea of retirement came about because people were almost to the point of they're decrepit. You know, they just are incapable of doing anything else. Everything's worn out and tired, and you just literally can't do anything anymore. And I can understand if that's the case, you shouldn't be working, because you're literally will kill yourself just in the act of working. And of course, I'd say as the concept of retirement kind of developed, we also developed all those modern diseases, the diseases of affluence that I'm talking about here in this book. So if we remove the diseases of affluence, is the concept of retirement even needed? I should do a chapter on this. I gotta add that to my notes. I don't know. That's a good subject of the whole of the chapter. But what are we going to do? We're going to have fun. That's what we're going to do. Instead of being in a downward spiral, instead of being in pain all the time, instead of just being in misery and wishing you were dead, I guess, almost. I can only imagine what that's like, because I don't not want to have to go through that. I've seen enough people go through it, literally losing your mind, losing your memory, losing everything. I can understand why you don't want to live. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I had those chapters in the beginning of the book, because I can understand if somebody's thinking that in their mind, like why would they ever want to have that extended out another 75 years? They wouldn't. But we don't want that. We want you to envision an entirely new way of living when you reach a retirement age. And actually, an unintended consequence of this book might be that they take away the concept of retirement altogether, and no one's even able to do it because everybody's so healthy. And if you look back in, you know, if you're a person of faith, back in the Bible, they talk about people living hundreds of years old. Maybe this is what we're supposed to do. I mean, I've talked before about wife Denise. I've seen things online, and we'll have to do a chapter about this too, about women's periods, if that should even be happening like that. I mean, women do ovulate, but the cramps, the pain, the blood, all this stuff, is that even the way humans were designed, or is that a result of the dietary and lifestyle choices that we've been making for generations? We don't know. No one's done studies or anything or over generations to look at this. And you know, hopefully this book will give you some ideas, spark something in your mind, and you'll have an idea about something you want to do. And if you do, write down in the comments. Actually, any of these little things here, write down in the comments. So the takeaway from this chapter is very simple. We want you to have a good time. We want you to have fun. We want you to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do at any point in time until like over 100 years old. You should be able to. I really believe that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting this book together. And I tell you what, if you know somebody, and maybe someone in your family, somebody else you've seen that is, let's say, over age 80 or 90, that's what I'd like to hear. 90, let's just say 90, and still driving themselves around, still going out, meeting people, doing stuff, please let us know their story. Write us down below. I'd love to hear about this, because we need to hear about these stories. All we ever hear about and see for the most part, is people that are getting sick, going into the hospital, and so many people never leave the hospital once they get there. It's terrible. It's also terrible about the food they give people in almost all hospitals too. See the last couple of chapters ago where I talked about food, that was 2 chapters ago. But if you have any ideas too about fun things that people should do over 90 years old who are in good health, let us know in the comments, because we're going to have to start brainstorming on this kind of stuff. We have to find new things to do. We don't want you to be bored either. And the fact that you'll have all this extra time, and you'll have all the wisdom to go with it. That's the other thing. Because when you're young and you're healthy, although a lot of young people are not healthy anymore, not even close. It's sad. You know, generations are living shorter now than previous generations did. But let's go back in the day where I grew up in the 70s, 80s. People were young and healthy. They could do all these things, but they had big problems with a lack of wisdom, lack of self-control, lack of direction. You know, can you imagine if you had all of these things, good parts, and you got to have fun, like unlimited amount of time? That's what I'm talking about as you age here with this kind of a lifestyle. So I look forward to reading your comments. Be sure to like the video if you got some value out of it. Give me some more ideas in the comments. Like I said, of course, subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Bye-bye.